Okay. It's working. And working? Yes, it is. At least I think it is. Yeah. Okay. Let's start today. So, today, I want to see what this is actually first called, because I just want to make sure. Okay, it's called the Republic of Standby. I'm gonna rename that later. I'm actually using OBS today, so yeah. Today, what we're talking about is our first video of, preparing for Onekotan. And so basically, we're first going to talk about the basic information of Onekotan itself. So each of these videos are going to be about 10 minutes long, probably. So the first thing is that Onekotan is in the Kuril Islands, and it is extremely far away. It's in Russia, and it's also in the Sea of Ok. So I can't really say it. It's like a Russian word. So, and the climate there is pretty cold. Wait. The climate there is pretty cold. In the winter, it's around like 25, you know. In the spring, it's pretty cold too, like 30 degrees. Summer's warm, like 55, 60 degrees. Fall's pretty nice as well, like 50 degrees, you know. And then winter's, yeah. So, also there is a lake, and also you might be wondering, how would we, let's just say we wanted to go on here, how would we do it? Because there's a lake. We would probably just go right here. Somehow we would, just the closest area, so. Yeah, so to know the exact distance, we do a distance calculator, and it's from my location to, not Several Coast Lake, to Onekotan. Okay, so probably driving distance would be it. Okay. So 4,337 miles, basically 4,338 miles. That's basically what it is. If you round it up by the nearest, but yeah, that's basically how you find the distance. You just go on this distance calculator. It's pretty helpful. So yeah, very good site. So it's very, very far away. Over 4,000 miles. So, and it would be not, here's some possible solutions that probably won't happen. These are some solutions that would be a worst case scenario, basically, that we would have to do. We cross with our boat across the North Pacific Ocean. This is just a solution. This will not happen. I'm almost 100% sure. We will cross the Pacific Ocean, land in Hilo or something, and then continue on to boat up to like Sapporo, and then you stay there, and you boat up to, which this will never happen. But what's most likely what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a two-way flight or a three-way. I'm thinking a two-way flight from Los Angeles to Anchorage, and then Anchorage to Palvos Kamchatsky, I think it's called. It's very hard to. It's a very long name. So yeah, that can be a possible solution, but of course it might not. That might not be. You know, maybe we could also. Here's another solution that would probably be more likely. We'd be going from Los Angeles to, no, Los Angeles to Hilo, or no, to Honolulu, and then to where is it? Oh, Yuznos, where is it? Oh yeah, right here. Yuznos Saklin, I don't know. It's, all these are super long names. So, and then you take a boat, and you get to over here. That can be a possible solution if you don't want to, like, drive a lot, because you'd probably want to drive. I mean, like, from here to here, because it's pretty hard to get from, because I believe there's more waves over here than over here, because it's obviously a sea, so it's kind of blocked off on all ends, so there'd be less waves. Gonna check who's on right now. Hello, Causland. So, I probably want to edit the name of this video. Okay, so. Okay. Perfect. Then I can do the rest later. If there's trouble or whatever. So basically, that's how it would go. Most likely. But of course, you can just drive up here and then you can get to the end. But of course, once again, I'm not really gonna do that. Now, of course, we need to know more of the geography, and how would we really get there. We would most likely get there by around right here. Yep. The satellite, for some reason, what I've noticed is that the satellite image is kind of weird on here for Onekotan, just because not all of it has been processed. Only this half has. So we would land somewhere around here on the beach, and it spreads out way over here also. But we'd probably land right here, I would think, or anywhere basically right here. And we would camp right around this area right here. Not close to the water. Well, not extremely close to the water, because you don't want it to be, you know, you don't want it to, like, overrun your tent, whatever, at night. You want it just fine. Also, there's this thing, which I'm not really sure what this is. Looks like some sort of valley. So, our first trek, what we're basically gonna do, is we're gonna, on the second day, or no, on the first day, we're probably gonna start walking around here, and probably making it to around here, camp there or something, find somewhere to camp for the night. Then, every day, basically, we start getting closer, and the way that we get closer is probably by the rivers, or maybe the dry rivers, if it's a dry river. But yeah, that's basically the geography. Now, actually, I just want to show one more thing. This is still technically an active volcano. So that's kind of a problem, because that's pretty bad. Considering that we don't want it to explode, as long as we we can get close to it, just not too close, because we're still thinking that maybe there's going to be a ton of smoke or something like that, because clearly you can see not smoked all over here. So this, by the way, is probably a picture from the summer. I think August or something like that. It looks like that because there's no snow. And that's why we're actually going in August, because this is what it would look like if we, what it would look like in August. There's very few amounts of snow. There is patches of snow still around, but even at the top of the mountain, it's still, not even there. But there is still little patches that will probably be there around. It just depends. If we go in early summer, there will probably be a little bit more snow still melting. And if we go later, then there will be basically just patches of snow like this. So that's basically done with the geography. Now, what do we exactly pack? Now, we do have a tent, but it's like a 6-person tent. It's huge. We don't need that kind of tent. So what we probably will use is we'll go, there's also all these kind of things on eBay and Amazon and those things. As long as it's not used, I know there's a lot of used stuff on eBay, we should be okay. So usually just search up a 2-person tent, and then you find it right here. And so most of these are pretty good. We don't want too small of a tent because we don't want it uncomfortable. We'll probably actually have more of a 3-person tent. But we actually probably bring 2 tents just in case one tent, something happens to it. One of the stakes, something happens to it. We'll always have a backup tent. So we'll probably buy like a really nice tent. And if that tent's not, good, then we'll buy a smaller tent just in case. So most of these things are pretty small. So that's why we probably have a 3-person tent, to be honest. But of course that costs a little bit more. But this is fine. This is an okay tent. Here's the thing. We wouldn't have a lot of space, on our backs, obviously. So, yeah. This would be okay. Then obviously for the backup tent, we can even just do like as simple as like this, or we can do as simple as, like this. Probably not this, actually. But very, very simple, not that complicated of a tent, because we just wanted it to be extremely foldable, so it can be easily into our backpacks, and we would be good to go. But we also need, well, I already have a sleeping bag, of course, and my sleeping bag's fine. So, there's also water filters that we need for sure. These are just examples. There's some simple water filters. I haven't got much into this, so it's kind of complicated for me. But this would be okay. Lots of this stuff would be okay. Kind of like a normal water bottle that you can still filter it. That's what I've seen those before, I believe. These are fine. This is fine as well. All these are quite fine. But then let's go into the next one. What we would need, we would also need a generator, because we can't charge anything, we can't, So most of the generators cost a lot. This will be probably one of the most expensive things. For example, we could just bring like a 1200 watt emergency home back, This would last, I don't know, 3 to 4 days, which would be fine. But if we're using, let's just say, maybe it does just go out for some reason. Maybe we need a stronger one, just in case. So maybe like this, but it would probably be. So this is like 800. This is like a heavy duty thing. And it has all the plugs, as you can see, all the plugs that you need. It has a voltmeter, it has everything. I don't know where the plugs are though. You see, obviously we're not gonna have Wi-Fi there, which is fine. I mean, I don't really care about that. But we also need battery chargers, of course. Now I have a ton of those, but they literally last maybe one charge. Maybe we don't need a generator. Maybe we don't need a generator at all. We can just use not this kind of battery charger, more like so. Yes. We need something that's like something that will keep a large amount of battery. Now, this is pretty good. This is an external battery. This is 50,000 milliamp battery, which actually still won't last a huge amount of time. 100,000 is definitely much, much better. There's also these solar panel ones, but the problem is it's never sunny in Onekotan. In the summer, it's not even sunny. Then it's really never sunny. It's always rainy. But we might bring it. It's pretty helpful. Maybe there will be sunlight. We don't know yet. But of course, I want to check on who's on this live stream. Yes, NitroNex is making a nationwide roleplay stream. Let's go. Okay. So, also, if you're wondering what this is, this shirt, this is when I went to Model UN. So, by the way, we're back from Las Vegas. So, that's good. So, basically, this is just an introduction of what this is, and this whole thing, basically, in a nutshell. On how are we going to do this, a quick explanation of Onekotan, how would we kind of get there. This is just the situations. In the next video, we will be probably, I'm thinking, we would probably start, I'm not really sure, to be honest, like, I'm not exactly sure for the next video. Probably more on the boating situation and on the problem with Russia's policy of going to these areas. Okay, guys, I will see you in the next one. So